Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kai here with another Exos video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Holy Dragon Grounds, and I figured it's probably overdue for an update. I haven't really talked about the Holy Dragon Grounds in a while. There's been a lot more ways to be able to improve your roster to just raw stats nowadays that has made it a lot easier, but they also added Phase 4 into the game, which is significantly harder than the other three phases. Recently people have been able to clear it and finding the caps of each stage. So I figured this would be a good time to talk about it and just kind of go over how you actually can clear a stage in this and what it's like. So I got footage of the run and starting in phase 4 of it. I feel like for most people, if you've been playing for a bit, stages 1 through 3 is pretty easy. If you are struggling with that, definitely check out some of my previous videos. I'll be sure to leave a link up so you can watch that. A lot of the same concepts apply. It's just nowadays there's so many more ways to gain stats in the game with Awakening and with Unleashed Potential that you're going to take those same concepts but then apply them with way bigger stat totals, and then there is a couple differences that happen in phase 4 that we can go over. So let's get into it. So first thing is I want to go over the comp that I used. And today, on Friday and Saturday, you don't get any Guardian Stone breaks, but you also don't have any limit in Phase 4 on what characters can do damage. Because normally on Monday through Thursday, based on the day, the only characters that can do damage are going to be that type. So Monday is going to be fire, Tuesday is going to be water, or frost. And there's also another passive here too that applies to those days as well, so it makes it a little tougher. It's just strictly going to be anything goes essentially when it comes to damage, but you don't get the benefit of being able to do like breaking Guardian Stones. And then they kind of make up for that with having a lower cap on how much damage you are needing to do to finish it. So here's the characters I used for this run, and a couple of the things that I like to there's certain types of characters that I want to bring in every single time I'm running a dragon team, especially if I'm going for the max possible. Either I'm trying to full clear it or I'm trying to get the highest damage total possible. There's a couple things I'm looking for in a team, and so the first one being I'm trying to manage my turn order. I don't want to have too many people that are fast. So like, and when I call in my mind, okay, like so there's about 3 to 4 different tiers of speed. So you got I feel like this kind of simplifies the game a little bit. So for example, you have Rara level, which she's the fastest by far, but this focus fire level of character or assassin level of character, the ones with finishing blow, they're all kind of on the same level. So like Diva would be on the same kind of speed. Dorka would be on the same level as Rare kind of thing. That's about the same. So I don't want to stack my team up with too many of those characters. And the reason why is because those characters do damage, but they don't really sustain or support your team. So when a phase change happens, if you have too many of them, the phase change happens, it resets the turn order, and now you're stuck with Rara, Dorka, and like Diva going, and then you clear that stage, and then the dragon goes, and then now they have to go again. Then the dragon goes. So you don't have any survivability. If you just have one, then you have other characters like some of my favorites would be Rudely or Chadi. They're not on that top tier of speed, but they're on that second tier below, and they have survivability for your team. So managing your turn order is going to be really important. So that's why I only have a few characters that are fast, and then I have this kind of mid-range here. And when I was really trying to break it down, especially when it was a lot harder without Awakening and without Unleashed Potential, doing a turn order breakdown is actually pretty helpful because it's every 3 turns and the dragon goes, every 3 turns and the dragon goes. And if you're kind of new to dragon, that might be worth doing if you're trying to make sure you're clearing as far as you can. So then what I like to bring to a team is I like to have that kind of mid-range. I like to have a mixture of healers and then indirect healers or like kind of survivability characters. So Rudely, even if you guys are at max health, he ends up. Well, I guess let me back up and say healers are all very slow. They're all have like 40 speed or 30 speed, and you want to be able to heal without actually needing to heal. If you have full health, if you have shields on, you want to be able to have a character go that is going to provide some form of sustainability, and that would be Rudely. And then another example of that is Chadi. Rudely is a little faster than Chadi, but both of them. So Rudely here, let me actually pull up his moves. So he's going to be mainly what you want him for is going to be his A2, whereas when this attack hits, will increase the health of all allies by 83% of own maximum health and the defense of all allies by 69%. So that's a character that's going to be really useful. Instead of just stacking your team with all healers, which are never going to get a go because they're too slow and they're redundant. One heals and then the next one goes and then they just heal a full max health team. If you split your team up into characters, see, I only have one healer. I only have Anna. And then Shadi's another example of like kind of an indirect healer in the opposite way, where she has this thing here where it grants a barrier of 40% of own maximum health to all allies for 12 turns. So that's what makes Shadi so good. So when that's how you're going to be able to survive, especially in phase 4, you're going to need all of this to go, because to keep it on track of talking about phase 4, the main issue is how the dragon changes. So the dragon, it ends up, once you get to phase 4, none of the general passives work. So like Dorcas passive, Bathory's passive, none of those work anymore when you're there. And his dragon roar ends up stunning your team. So then you're going to have a lot of downtime when you're actually running through the match, and you're just going to be stunned and can't do anything. So you're going to need to find a way that when you do go, if you get, it's really hard to time it. There's really no way to try it. Really, the best way to survive it is just to have enough raw stats to be able to survive through that stun. But to help you go through that, you're going to need some kind of sustainability. So, like for example, Rudley's a good example of that. Chadi's a good example that you get at least one person to go, boom, you at least have enough survivability to where you can actually kind of recover from that. And then, and that's what I found is mainly for phase 4. It's just getting these raw stats. If you look at all these characters, they'll have very, like, these are the kind of health pools you're going to need to have if you're going to be able to survive through that. If you look at all the top people that clear this, they all have, like 7 million combat power for something like this. Essentially taking the concepts of what I've said in previous videos about having a balanced team, not being too overloaded on damage characters that are fast. You want to have your damage characters. You want to have a mid-range character of survivability, and then at the bottom you want to have a whole bunch of, on the bottom you just want healing, and then in between all that, I like to have characters like Tantalo. He's amazing because he's going to be reducing crit damage, and then also Garf is amazing because he's increasing the health of people and increasing survivability. But I believe the survivability drops off phase 4, like the 20% here, this 20% defense and health, but should be dropping off the Vanguard passive here. But you're also just naturally built into his kit, he's giving these effects here. You do lose a lot of survivability from losing the command passive in phase 4, but you make up for that with just having good characters. So that's why I like to have those guys in there. And then lastly, you always need to have a character that has Head Dragonite. The best character right now is FC Emma, especially with the new changes. Definitely take FC Emma. I don't have her. I'd be using her right now if I had her. And then depending on the day, I would say the best is for overall, if you just wanted to level up one character, it would be FC Magi for sure, because not only do you get like the Dragonite blessing, you get the Head Dragonite, but you also get the Dragon Blood passive here, which that value is very good. But if you want to be more specific, especially with phase 4, how it changes on the day, see how Dragonite blessing is decreases the enhanced Dragon Fang effect used by the Fire Element Dragon of Order by 20%. So the enhanced Dragon Fang effect only happens in phase 4, and this is a fire character, so is going to reduce that fire element by 20%. And you can bring in multiple characters that have this effect that are fire if you want to try to max that out. But then another one would be Bernadette would be a good one for like Tuesdays, for example, especially if you have FC Bernadette. And then other characters get better depending on the day too. So you can go here and like check nature days. There's really no standout version of it. I would say that actually has the Head Dragonite, because Tauntalo just has Dragonite Blessing but doesn't have Head Dragonite. Probably going to be Talia, especially after her FC. She's going to be probably the best Head Dragon Knight for nature. And then on Machine Day, I would probably say, I want to say it's FC Mahar is going to be the way to go. Yeah, FC Mahar on Machine Days is amazing because not only do you get that, Barrier Will's very good for this because you do can take a lot of burst, and so having something that when burst happens like that, he just will rather survive, but is going to take more damage, but it's worth it because not those big spikes of damage don't happen that often. But having this decreased defense is really nice to throw in there. So those would be the best versions of that on each day. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm just trying to fit as many tips in as possible to try to help with Holy Dragon Grounds because there's so much to talk about, and this is by far probably the most. This is the part of content that I get the most questions on. So I'm just trying to find over the course of multiple videos, it, and be as helpful as possible. Is essentially what I'm trying to say. Um, and then another thing too is I wanted to touch on is to get as much damage. Signature Force is definitely going to help a lot, especially on today because all damage works. Whereas Signature Force damage doesn't really help too much in Phase 4 on most times because you not only do you need to have the right character, but then the Signature Force damage needs to match that element. So you can kind of get away with it with, I believe, I'm not sure on this, but I believe you could take, if like for example it's Fire Day and you take a character that does fire damage with their Signature Force but doesn't normally do fire damage, they'll do the fire damage proc of Signature Force. I'm not sure on that though. So if someone wants to test that, let me know. And then I was going to talk about healers. So the reason why I'm taking Anna is because if you actually, I used to think Lepin would be the best for Phase 4 because you just die so easily in Phase 4. But as the game is actually giving us more and more ways to make our character stronger, the thing I actually care about is not reviving dead members, it's just keeping people alive. And Anna does a way better job of that than Lepin does because you're getting 49% of own maximum health, and it's very easy now to increase your maximum health by quite a bit. And she also has Dragon Knight Blessing. Whereas if you look at Lepin, she only does the heal over time and then heals all allies by 24% of maximum health. So it's literally a half the heal, and then you're mixing in a very small heal versus a heal that's half as big. Whereas with Anna, you're mixing in a massive burst move and a massive heal. So it's just two big versions of that. It doesn't revive anyone, but who cares when you're actually surviving through it? So maybe you could use both. I would probably use both on like Frost days, but on Friday, Saturday, I would definitely just use, like in my situation, I use one. I would rather have, if I had the choice between two healers, I would probably go Chadi and Anna because they don't overlap each other. One is like a 60 to 70 speeder, significantly faster than Anna. Okay, now with that, let's actually show the run and let's get into that. Figured I would start in the very beginning of Phase 4 here. And I really like the new changes to Dragon. It's significantly faster to try. Big hitter for this is definitely FC Brook. FC Brook or FC Diva, I'd probably pick one or the other. I like Brook because she's tankier and she's not as fast, so you're not stuck with like FC Rara and F Diva getting in the way. Okay, and then I really like FC Shell for this, giving the mana, even though it's not the best character to give it to. I'll take it. I just like having her on the team, and she just has so much like raw stats that I figured why not. And so I really wanted to show the part of getting stunned and just surviving through it. You just kind of gotta. And so like Chadi goes, boom, gets the shield. That's a massive shield. And then right when you get stunned, so it's good timing, and then it just really shows how valuable she can be. Rare is obviously really good because she has built-in status immunity. And then notice how no Dragon Blood effects proc there because it's disabled here. It hits taunt alone. He survives it. And then just kind of trying to survive doing less damage. Another example of why Brook is so nice, being able to assist constantly when these shields are procced, and then boom, there it is. So there's the finish. It was actually pretty quick. I forgot how quick this run was, but notice literally everyone just dies instantly. There's no surviving this. I wonder if they're going to, if it's programmed in to like actually like continue from here, because I feel like this is one of the best parts of content in the game potentially, and then I feel like they undersell it. I mean, I hate to keep mentioning raid, but I feel like with this part of content, if they keep improving it, it could be on the level of like clan boss or something, where it's if they made it significantly harder, but we were able to control our characters, that is such good content. in my opinion. For it, I was thinking what would be really cool is instead of Infinity Core, what we would do is we would just fight like one version of the Phase 4 boss, or maybe they modify it a bit, let us control it, and then we fight that version of a boss every day. And I think that would, and then see how far people can go in that instead of Infinity Core, which is literally just no one cares about. So I don't know. That's just my idea on it. If you like more content like this, subscribe, join the Discord. Definitely way more active on the Discord. It's a lot easier to see all your guys' questions. We also have dedicated things for Holy Dragon Grounds and like asking for advice and stuff. So definitely join the Discord if you have any questions. And you guys have a good one. Peace.